Hey, Josh and Nick coming at you with another Wirecast video. This one today is going to be all about pulling a nice green screen. So you went out, you painted a wall green, or you bought a nice green screen cloth, or you got a green screen pop-up. It could be blue as well, because we can do either one, but green is kind of the go-to. So how do we get it done? What do we do inside of Wirecast? Well, we've got our in-studio Wirecast setup here with Master Yoda, my office chair, and a pop-up green screen. And we have configured the settings on our Canon camera to have the focus locked, to have the exposure locked, and we've set our own white balance. And we have videos out on our YouTube channel that can show you how to do those settings with this camera. But those three settings, again, doing your exposure, doing your focus, and doing your white balance can help you pull a much better green screen key. What do I mean by that? Pulling a green screen key means get rid of the green in the background so I can have some other picture or video back there. So we've configured the camera, and now what we need to do is configure Wirecast. We pulled in our camera, our Decklink camera that's got Master Yoda here, and if you're wondering how we did that, there's another video that you can reference for that. But here we go. I'm going to click on this video, and this asset here, this piece of media that's in layer 3. And I'm going to highlight it, and then up here are all my different controls for that. And the control I'm worried about right now for this is this little person, and it says chroma key properties. A chroma key, again, is doing some green screen. And what I want to do is say use chroma key. Now, notice that is all sorts of weird. It's pulling a key, but it's not getting the green. Sometimes that'll happen. Sometimes it'll choose a color all by itself that works really well. What we find that is best is this pick key with mouse. So if I click on it and I come over, now I can see my green, and I want to click not on a lighter shade of my green screen, but more on the darker side. That always pulls a better key, and when I click on it, there we go. Now, I've got some fuzziness here with Yoda's face. Some of that is our lighting in here, but I can mess around a little bit with some of these things like key threshold, and if I do that, I can get that, and that's a pretty darn good key for in here, especially for Yoda's face being green. So there's Yoda. Now, this black area that's here is like, what I've done is I've like punched a hole through the picture. So now what I want to do is I want to add another piece of media down here. I want to put something behind Yoda, which you can, if you want to consider that flattened, that's going to be under Yoda. And so I need to add that media. And there's a couple of different ways to do that. On our C drive, inside of our news show folder, and again, all of your media should be in the C drive. Always make a backup onto something that's not the C drive, but you should be running your show and have all of your assets, all of your media. That's media is video, it's text, it's still images, it's sound. All of that should be sitting on the local C drive in order to make sure that Wirecast is running its best and with peak efficiency. And so what I'm going to do, I have a couple of different ways to do this, but here's this cute little video of Wolverine babies. I'm going to drag that down, and notice I get a little yellow bar here and a white on layer 4, and I'm going to drop it in there. And when I do that, it adds that video down here. It tells me that this video is 11 seconds. So I'm going to bring Wirecast to the foreground by clicking on it, and then I'm going to say make my Wolverine my background. Now, so there it is. Notice this is a movie, but it's not playing. It's not until I hit play that now I'm going to see that output happening and this Wolverine behind Yoda. And so I can layer this with all sorts of things. I can put an American flag if we're doing the pledge. I can put pictures of of one of the sports teams behind if we're doing a segment on what happened at a game or a meet or a match. I can be putting pictures of different places in the building if we are going there in order to report on what's happening. And those things can be video or they can be still pictures. But this is how we do that in order to start to get our layer. Now, if I want to switch and I want to be able to alternate between a couple of different images, all I do is I layer them down here underneath of my camera, underneath of Master Yoda. So another way that I can do that is I can say add, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to come in and add a new media file here. And again, before I dragged it in, this time I'm using the interface and I can browse to my C drive and then which is my local disk, and then into my new show folder. And what I'm going to do is colors in space. And when I do that, that's going to add a new thing, and then I'm going to hit play, and then that transitions me into this new background that we have here with Yoda. And if I zoom my camera in live, what I'm going to see is Yoda gets bigger there, and that takes up the entire screen. And that's not too bad at all. It's pulling a pretty darn good key, and it's looking pretty good. So that's how we do the basics of getting a chroma key, green screening things out, and putting some things into the backgrounds of your Wirecast broadcast. Thanks.